There is mudslinging and allegation flinging in the race to become Clayton County's next sheriff. Incumbent Kim Kimbrough claims his opponent, former Sheriff Victor Hill, is a criminal who needs to be behind bars, and he's using your money to prove it. CBS Atlanta's chief investigative reporter Wendy Saltzman has tough questions for both of these candidates.
The long-standing hatred between these two candidates is no secret, but this rivalry has now turned into an all-out war. Today, Hill is making allegations the current sheriff has been using his public office to dig up dirt on Hill in an effort to thwart his run for office. On Wednesday, Hill will be standing before a grand jury where he's accused of racketeering and theft.
I'm holding a person accountable who committed violations of Georgia law. That's my job. That's the oath that I swore.
Today, two political powerhouses are going head-to-head in a fight for the sheriff's office.
I think the fact that he would try something like this makes him a criminal, and the biggest criminal, in the worst way.
Former Sheriff Victor Hill is making a bid for his old job.
But I'm putting my name on the ballot because I'm an innocent man.
But he's fighting a full-blown criminal investigation and allegations of corruption and racketeering.
Instead of seeing the responsibility of the sheriff's office, he saw the power and the authority and the fame and the fortune.
Hill is accused of 37 counts of criminal action, including using county gas for personal trips and placing campaign donations into his personal account.
I feel that it's politically motivated. The sheriff of Clayton County is behind the investigation.
Now Hill is firing back, saying Kimbrough illegally used his public office for his own political gain.
How is it that the sheriff can investigate his opponent and use county resources to do that?
Have you used your public office for personal gain?
I have not. I have not.
Kimbrough admits he had a number of investigators tasked to investigating Hill and other allegations of corruption, but says that investigation started before Hill announced he was running for office.
But do you think it's a conflict of interest?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Why not?
Because I'm sworn to uphold the law. That means regardless of who you are, regardless of where you came from, regardless of what position you hold, then I'm supposed to hold you to the law.
I'm not intimidated, and I will fight this to the end, and I will run for sheriff.
If Hill is indicted on Wednesday, that doesn't keep him from running for office, but if he's tried and convicted, that's another matter entirely. Hill told us he will be filing a complaint against Kimbrough, alleging that the sheriff is using his taxpayer-funded resources for political purposes. I'm Wendy Saltzman, CBS Atlanta News.
At 6 o'clock, former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill was indicted just moments ago. He's charged with 37 counts of criminal misconduct.
Good evening, I'm Stephanie Fisher.
And I'm Jaquetta Williams. Victor Hill was arrested. His bond was set at $50,000. Hill turned himself into authorities. His political rival, Sheriff Kim Kimbrough, launched the investigation that helped to put him behind bars. CBS Atlanta's Wendy Saltzman has been following the developments. So what was Hill's demeanor when the grand jury's indictment was announced, Wendy?
Well, Hill actually went into these closed-door grand jury proceedings this morning fairly confident, but all of that did start to change once the 23 grand jurors started to deliberate his fate. Now, all of this is happening just 6 months before Hill intended to run for sheriff again.
The indictment has been filed in open court and they've been turned over to the clerk for filing.
As the judge read the 37-count indictment, Victor Hill stared straight ahead, no emotion and no response.
I will set bond in the total amount of $50,000.
The former sheriff will now stand trial for charges ranging from violating his oath of office to theft by taking. The most serious charge is racketeering.
The air of impropriety is so thick that it's making me choke.
Was this surprising to you?
Hill refused to comment today following the indictment. He turned himself in immediately. His last words, he will still be running for sheriff.
Going down says I'm still running for sheriff.
In this interview Monday, Hill called this investigation a politically motivated witch hunt.
It's wrong. I plan to fight it. I plan to be exonerated.
Sheriff Kimbrough told CBS Atlanta News there wasn't any political motivation to the investigation.
I'm not investigating an opponent in a political race. I'm holding a person accountable who committed violations of Georgia law. That's my job. That's the oath that I swore.
Hill will now be booked into jail. His attorney asked he be transferred out of Clayton County to Gwinnett County, where he's expected to be released on $50,000 bond.
We're going to make bond, and we're going to continue to fight, and we're going to continue to go forward, and he's going to continue to run for sheriff of this county.
Now we're told Victor Hill did try to plead his innocence in front of these grand jurors, asking them not to fall prey to what he said is a political vendetta. This case will now be heard in front of a court in a criminal court of law. Live in Clayton County, I'm Wendy Saltzman, CBS Atlanta News.